What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you my experience when it comes to owning this Series 7 Apple Watch. I'm going to go ahead and talk about more just a raw, honest review if it's even worth upgrading from like the Series 6 or maybe it's possibly an older Apple Watch. In case you are considering, I'm just going to go ahead and share with you my overall experience, the current body condition, and my general everything there is to really know, like average battery life and such. So let's go ahead and get started. So the Apple Watch Series 7 that I went with personally is the much larger size. This is the new 45mm, and the edge display really does look great, especially when you compare it against the previous Series 6. Here you can see a side-by-side comparison how these two watch faces look, and it really does make things pop out a bit more. And then, if you may have noticed, this band that I'm using on my Apple Watch, this is from Bandwerk, and it's a German company. Unfortunately, they don't sell these on Amazon, but these bands are really expensive. But they sponsored a video a long time ago, and I'm still using their products today. So if you're looking for some actually really nice leather bands, this is the company that I personally go to. Just caution, they are expensive compared to what you could typically find on Amazon, but they're built to last because I had this ever since the Series 4, I believe. And yes, because of that, you may have also figured out that yes, I was able to transfer my larger size bands from my older Apple Watches and still be able to be used on the Series 7. So that's nice that Apple continues that tradition where the larger screen band will still carry on to the larger screen latest generation Apple Watch, and vice versa with the smaller screen Apple Watch as well. Now, I did went ahead and purchase two Series 7 Apple Watches. This one, the one I primarily use, is the LTE because the cellular reception, the ability that it has, can come in handy, especially when I don't feel like to carry my phone around. I still want to receive text messages and phone calls. That's what this does. I actually cover a separate video comparing these two Apple Watches between the non-LTE and the LTE Apple Watch. See if it's even worth it. You can watch that video right there in the corner. But my primary Apple Watch is this one, and new for the Series 7 is the new midnight color. The midnight color is much darker. It's actually like black almost, that I prefer it, to be honest, over the space gray. The space gray, hint the name, still had gray in it, but the midnight really is like a black color, which makes matching with every outfit really easy. But even the Series 6, the midnight blue color option that it had available still looks great, and when compared against the latest blue color option that came out for the Series 7, the two look almost identical, but nonetheless the Series 7 is still much lighter. Now, one of the few key selling points from Series 7 to the Series 7 from the older Apple Watches is obviously just a larger edge display. The edge display really does look great depending on the watch face you select, especially the newer ones with the numbers like this on this corner. And with the always on enabled, it also somewhat gives that effect. And it's surprisingly, I want to say it's brighter because of the larger display was the always on display enabled. I have noticed I'm able to view the information I'm trying to view on my display when it's always on display mode a lot more pleasant than how it was with the Series 6 or older Apple Watches that had always on display. Now, this is what Apple is calling their strongest Apple Watch yet available in the market, and if we actually turn off the display or just give it like a black screen or something, I'm actually surprised there is absolutely no scratches on the display so far. So far, durability wise, it's actually handling really well. And note, this is the aluminum body. I'm not rocking the titanium or anything like that, and I'm actually really shocked there's no scratch marks on the body itself. But I do have a scratch right here on the digital crown if you notice. But this is something that I've always done somehow. I always manage to scratch the digital crown, and it's just one scratch. If you look at my other Apple Watches, same exact story for some odd reason. I don't know why, but the body itself, it's actually in mint condition, which is great. Shocked that the display still is holding on very strong. Now, flipping it from the back side, the sensors are actually identical to the Series 6. This is where I was kind of disappointed, but you still have your ECG capabilities, the latest generation heart rate sensor, the altimeter, the built-in compass. It has all of that the Series 6 had, so it just carries over to the Series 7 newly designed body. But another feature that the Series 7 did receive that the Series 6 didn't have is fast charging, as this one claims to be able to charge 33% faster compared to the Series 6, which is very impressive because the Series 6 was already fast, in my opinion, for a smartwatch. Series 7 can actually charge much quicker, and this definitely does come in handy, especially if you like to do sleep tracking. I've been able to utilize this by actually charging my Apple Watch back up and just have this on my wrist, because when my alarm goes off, it doesn't set off my phone, it just vibrates my wrist, so my spouse or anybody around me doesn't get alerted, which is quite nice. This is something I've been finding myself do more and more, because previously on my Series 6 I would never do it, because by the time I'm actually ready to go to bed, it still has like 50% or less. This one I've noticed I've been able to have 80%, so I've been able to actually utilize this feature a bit more by using the alarm clock feature, not the sleep tracking, but I guess I can utilize that now next. Now internally, a software feature that is exclusive to the Series 7 is the keyboard in Messenger. This is pretty cool, especially when you're just trying to reply to something quickly instead of having to verbally say something. Normally when I'm with a group of friends or I have someone next to me, I don't want to be rude and just say blah 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 to, verbally say something. So the fact that I could just use the keyboard and actually type in complicated sentences, shockingly, it's able to use Siri's auto learning, so it automatically will get an idea of what you're trying to say. So if you do misspell something, it will automatically suggest and replace that word. And if in case it wasn't the correct word that you were trying to spell, it's really easy to go back and correct. You could actually tap it, or just hit the back arrow icon, or use the digital crown like so. It's actually really cool. Now in terms of battery life, I am a crazy fitness user. As you can see in my fitness charts, I utilize every sensor that's available on the Series 7 to accurately, or help me accurately, track my calories burns for my workouts. And at the end of the day, during a very busy active day, I notice that the Apple Watch typically will end anywhere around 20% battery life, which is perfect. So in terms of having an all-day battery, the Series 7 has that. Not once has this thing actually really died on me, or I caught it at 5%. There's been a few days where I actually have forgot to charge it, or it fell out its charging duct during the day. The Apple Watch is able to charge back up and still continue to have enough battery life for me to continue my day without having to miss my important notifications on my wrist. So battery life is actually really good for one whole day. I could probably be able to squeeze a day and a half if I really want to. Now in terms of waterproof, no Apple Watch is waterproof. It's water resistant, and it actually has a respectable water resistant rating up to 50 meters. And this is the first Apple Watch that actually has a dust resistant rating as well. But in terms of dust, I really don't see an issue or a benefit or a notice that this came in handy. It's been exposed to the previous elements that my old Apple Watches were exposed to, and this doesn't cause any problems in general. Man, water resistant rating 50 meters, that's a lot. That's 165 feet below surface water. So that's the best water resistant that you will ever need to the typical user, unless you're a scuba diver, but that's when you need an external case or something. So with that said, it's an excellent smartwatch, but the number one question I always get constantly is that should you upgrade to the Series 7 if you're coming from the Series 6? I really don't see a reason to upgrade to the series from the 6 to the 7, in my opinion. Unless you just want that larger display, there's really no real valid reason to upgrade. It has the same internal storage, same sensors as I previously covered. Just you have access to new colors, and I guess that larger display. Man, fast charging can come in handy, but it's not really that much of a selling point for me. So unless you could find somebody willing to pay a lot of money for your previous Apple Watch, or a good value I should say, then maybe it's worth considering to upgrade that way. But buying a new watch in general while keeping your Series 6, I don't see a reason really. So again, it's just personal preference, but I would have I personally would have been perfectly fine with my Series 6. Now, if I had a Series 4, and that's my daily driver, yeah, you waited long enough, it's about time to upgrade. Because the thing with the Apple Watch is that it's not really necessary to constantly upgrade every single year like it is with smartphones. With the Apple Watch users are most likely to hold on to their device for longer than 3 years from what I personally have seen. The reason why I go to a new Apple Watch to another Apple Watch every single year is because I'm a tech YouTuber. I need to get my hands on the latest and greatest, but again, I'll be perfectly fine with an older Apple Watch. It's not really necessary going with the Series 7. So there's my 2 cents. Hope you enjoyed this general raw review of the Series 7 Apple Watch. If you got some good useful information out of this video, you know what to do. Greatly appreciate it if you guys will leave this video a like, as those help me out a lot, and get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. If you'd like to see more, check out this video over here. So I go through 100+ hidden features that you could do on any Apple Watch running on the latest version of WatchOS 8. And in that video over there, that's just the video YouTube is recommending specifically for you. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.